It's just as long as you've clapped, it means I can synchronize the audio with your video. That's all.
I like how you asked a bunch of people who probably were not really good at sports when they were kids, and probably not very coordinated, given that we're probably all highly autistic or neurodivergent in some manner, and you asked us all to clap at the same time. I think that was interesting. It was a good experiment.
Worst thing to do in the world. Anyway,
that's allegedly a musician. I think I'd be all right at that kind of thing. I think I was the worst one.
Welcome to Tale of Four Warcasters. I'm Chris. I'm joined, as always, by Kenda.
Hello.
We're joined by Gareth.
Evening.
And we're joined by Marc.
Hello.
So the whole point of this is just like, it's just Warmachine hobby chat as we collect stuff and hopefully get into a position where we will meet up and start playing the odd game, because we are at different ends of the country in some respects, but relatively local to each other in some respects. But we will sort that out. But first things first is to get things built and painted and other things. And we have busy lives and other competing hobbies. So yeah, it's kind of a realistic approach to how this all works. So what's been interesting? What's going on? Like, there's a lot of things that have been out recently. So what's grabbing people's attention from Steamforged Games kind of releases for Warmachine, or is there something you've been excited about painting recently?
I really liked UK Games Expo.
Yes.
So obviously, since we've all been together or recorded separately, UKGE's happened, and I really like that because I got an opportunity to watch a couple demos.
Yes.
And that was really, really nice. I got to meet the wider team. There was, of course, Lock and Load as well, which was, really nice to see everybody there. But I didn't get a demo while I was at Lock and Load. I was too excited looking at people's models and watching people play. But at UKGE, it was really nice to see a demo. So obviously, coming from a painting perspective, it was nice to see how things performed on the table as well. So that was exciting for me, was just doing that, and I got a few of my friends into it as well. So now
You've got a few of your friends into it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Have you yet bullied a mutual friend of ours into it yet as well?
Oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it. I took a couple of models over and he wasn't actually there, and I was like, God damn it. But yeah, when he comes in, I'm going to show him the models, and then for sure he's going to be all over it, I think.
Excellent. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, anyone else, Gareth?
I was at UKGE as well. I was there for a couple of days. I bumped into Kenda, I think, on Sunday. Yes. Funnily enough, on the Warmachine stand.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Imagine that.
I really like the vampire stuff. Is it the vampire-y type faction that you've picked up recently, Chris? Love the look at that.
Yeah, I got sent a review copy of the Fane of Nero. I am almost finished painting them, but yeah, they're very funky models.
And I mean, anything that brings more robots into it is great. One of my local stores put a thing out recently saying, "Oh, if there's interest, we will start stocking Warmachine."
Amazing.
So that's a store that's about an hour away. I think, Chris, you and I looked at doing some demo games there last year, maybe, but it didn't pan out. But it would be nice to have a shop that's got some stock locally, potentially can do some demo games with some people there as well. I've got to go over and have a chat with Graham there. I'll probably do that tomorrow night. See what he wants to do on that front. So locally, it's looking good.
That's Battlefield Hobbies, is it?
That's correct, yeah.
In Daventry, right? Okay, yeah, that's like a 2-hour drive from here. Yeah, that'll be good. I think more stores are definitely picking up on it. I keep badgering the people at Outpost to stock it in Sheffield, because obviously though I ran demos there on Sunday, they don't actually stock it yet, but maybe the tides will turn there. I am locked in for doing some demos on the 22nd of August in Sheffield at Element Games, because they do stock it.
They do stock it. That's all you need to mention to Outpost. Just say, "Oh, Element, I've got it."
Yeah, exactly.
Element have got it, and Hobby Workshop up in Chapeltown also stock it, and they increased their warehouse size recently.
The Stockport Element actually has a Warmachine night.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think that's the that's where a lot of the, maybe even some of the Steamforge team also kind of.
Yes, I discovered this because of the
opted.
Steamforge team.
I think it's their local.
Yeah, I got
I
sent a
think
photo.
you found that out on the stand at UKGE, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
I go here and paint on such and such night. Wait, that's my local store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Happy Kenda.
Yeah, I was very happy.
It's quite funny because Steamforge is very, there's almost, there is this kind of Mancunian angle to Warmachine that's slowly kind of brewing up, both in the attitude to the game and everything else. It's cool that it's outside of the lead belt to a certain extent, but still northern. So that's cool that Battlefield Hobbies is going to be stocking it, and therefore it's prime demo ground, and to get like a Journeyman League going or some other events, that'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'm going to have a chat with Graham about seeing if he wants some terrain printed up as well, because obviously I've got the files for terrain. He knows that I've got the printers because I've done some epic stuff for him in the past as well for a couple of events that he's run. So if we can get some of the variety of terrain there as well, that'll hopefully give people a bit of interest of the different factions, the different terrain that's available.
Yeah, I need to also look into, because I've not done it yet. So the way they track for Warmachine, the way they track the tournament players, like performance stuff, is on a website called Longshanks, and but it's also through that. If you have an account on there, I haven't yet done it myself, so I need to look into this. It's how you can link up your account from that to the Steamforge Games website, because then you can track if you do what they call press gang events. So if you do demos and run events, run narrative events, and therefore it means for you to get rewarded for doing promotional stuff like that to spread the joy of Warmachine, as it were, and further support, because obviously they've got they've got competitive play packs that contain, like, you get the cards and stuff that you can give away as prizes or artwork, or I think even you get STL files for, like, to print out trophies and stuff.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
There's a lot of support that way.
Yeah, I've not seen this service before. I've only ever used Best Coast pairings for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's quite nice.
Yeah, I need to get into, because I've been playing a few. I played another large game of Warmachine 2 weeks ago, and I did pretty well. So I know I'm feeling, and this was something Kenda pointed out when we last recorded about Lock and Load, is that tournament play just seems really chill with Warmachine players.
Big time.
And it's interesting to know why that would be. And it's mostly because the rules are easy.
I was going to say, the second you get away from any of the big two games, everything seems a lot more chill.
Yeah, I could say the same thing about Heresy. There are a few players that have come across from 40k that are trying to sort of like make it about got to beat everyone.
Yeah.
But Heresy, you look at what Dan's been doing at an Outpost, what they're looking to do with events down on the South Coast. It's all about narrative events. It's all about doing it over.
And that's only going to feel
weekends.
like that makes like getting people across the Warmachine that much easier, because you're like, okay, well, it's very similar to this. It's kind of like, I always say, when a couple of people have asked me stuff about Warmachine, I've been like, you like Middle Earth, right? I was like, now imagine Middle Earth but without a really broken rule system. So like, because like Middle Earth's a bit of a nightmare to play, right? But it's all the people who play it are very chill. They're all very chill, and they're there for the narrative element of it. And that's all the Warmachine fun stuff, right? But it is so much more chill. Like, I struggle to explain. I think 40k people, we're so, and I say this as someone who plays 40k, but I think we're so stuck in, we've just accepted that it's difficult to play, and it becomes like almost part of the identity. And then when you play another game and you see that it's easy to play but still has the similar complexity, so you still have all that variability, you still have all that strategy, like it's nice. It's really nice. It's nice and chill in a good way.
Marc, what have you been up to that's Warmachine related? Have you anything that stood out that's interested you?
Well, I miss Lock and Load, unfortunately, due to family stuff. But the vampires look so nice. God damn.
Vampire.
Like, I still haven't painted the nice vampires, and I'm already going, do I want the naughty vampires as well?
That's I mean, that's the cool thing for you, because like obviously you've already got you've got one of the command starters for the House Callus.
Yes.
But the ones that you've got are actually are they all Eldritch, or some of them still alive? Because isn't one like riding on like a stag?
Yeah, it's all under the Dusk, House of Dusk, I think is the they're a mix. There are some of them that weren't in the Elven lands when the reaving happened, but
and then of course I gave you the other half of the Frozen Forgotten.
You did.
So you've got now they were going to be a starter cadre for one of the armies, but they've been rolled back to not being that for whatever reason. Narrative and rules wise.
I think now they've rolled in part of the Dusk at the moment. I don't know where they're going to sit, because they do swap the shit.
You can use them in both. So you can use them in House Callus and in the new Fane of Nero. But essentially what you've got is a journeyman, a junior warlock with her war beasts, and then you've got the other units. But it does mean that those, plus if you've got Fane of Nero, the starter box for Fane of Nero, that gives you like a 50-point army in no time.
You are saying the worst things possible to me, because the reason why I stalled on painting the Frozen and Forgotten is I had a bad spray batch from a Colour Forge, which has never happened before or since.
Oh no!
Yeah, it went. I think it's probably slightly too humid outside and poorly mixed, but it went really like felty and didn't set properly.
Oh, weird.
So I stubbornly tried painting over it and made it worse. So I just need to strip them back with some paint stripper and repaint them. But like starting that process.
I've had something not similar, but I've also found sometimes like certain. Like the dark green they do, Colourforge.
That was it.
It wasn't that it was felty. It was a real pig to paint over because I use it as the base color on my Gatemen.
Yeah.
It was almost like it was hydrophobic.
Is it this one? This is the new one, Dissenter Green?
No, it's the
old one.
The older one.
I wonder if that's why because this is a brand new one that's just come out.
Yeah, because that's. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm sad that's come out, but I've been. In fact, it's just fallen off my shelf before I start recording. But I've got about 3K of Sons of Horus that I'm in the process of painting, and that would have been a really nice zenithal highlight on their other green if they'd have brought it out 6 months ago.
Oh, there's always time to update things.
Oh yeah, I'm not finished yet. But yeah, stripping back my evil elves, stripping back my vampires and putting them in painting more evil colours is it's certainly feeling.
Yeah, well, but then that's kind of cool then. So if you've got your eye on Fane of Nero, then you've literally got 2 armies at 50 points out of 3 boxes with some mix and match units, which is really, really cool. And that's I think, because I've ordered them as well. I've ordered the Final Hunt because I was like, oh right, I've got Fane of Nero now, I'll order them. And it's like, oh okay, so I've got now, a larger army. And then the other things that I'll just swap the camera over to the right thing. I'll just do transition to that. So I got through from Base X, who are a newish company, I feel, in Germany. They sent over for review. I've got these 2 tubs of basing material.
Are they the one that do like weird mixed stuff?
Yeah. So I've got about. So I don't think I'm going to get through all of them for my projects, but there might be something which you lot might want to go, I'll have that. Thanks.
Carrying fistfuls of it in my fit pockets.
Yeah.
So
Pocket sand.
Brimstone, I've been using
Oh,
on
yeah.
the Fane of Nero, because in here, in amongst the mix, as you can see that I picked up,
It's got little
there are
skulls.
tiny little 28mm skulls.
Yes,
so
that is the one I've seen.
So that's really good. And you can see there's like different textures of materials in there. And then the other one I've got here, which I'll be using to finish up, well, I say finish up, add to what I've already done on my Kador bases, is these icy crystals.
Oh, very nice.
So
I've been cutting up bits of plastic to put on my bases as ice crystals for my Kador.
Yeah, so that's going to make life a little easier. I also thought, because I needed something that was more of a workhorse, I got a Tesseract Minis Big Chungus brush recently, so
Very nice.
We'll see how that goes.
You should try some of the Ruby Paints brushes.
Yes, yeah.
Because I've got
that's good.
I've got both of them. So I've got the Tesseract one, and then I've got the Ruby Paints ones. And you can see, like, Tesseract one hasn't kept its point. It's a really good brush, but it hasn't quite kept its point. But the Ruby ones keep their point really well. So I'm really chuffed with both of them, to be fair.
I've got a variety of things. I've got some Artis Opus ones. I've got some orange paint brushes. I've got my.
Well, I could talk your ear off about paint brushes.
My GW ones have not survived very well. I've got a Winsor Newton, a couple of Winsor Newtons, because they're
my basics. But this stuff, the brush cleaner stuff, has changed my life. Like, I only started using it like 5 months ago, and it's changed my life.
This brush, though, has lasted for decades at this point. I do mean a decade. This is a Da Vinci.
Oh, Da Vinci?
Watercolor brush.
My favorite. Okay, so my scaling.
Because Da Vinci, you can get Da Vinci watercolor brushes really easily
100%.
in Germany. So they're my go-to brushes, actually, and they're really
100%.
good.
100%. So I've got Da Vinci have a miniature color range, a miniature brush range. And so my order of paintbrushes is Da Vinci, and then it's the Ruby Paints brushes, because I found that they're better than the Artis Opus ones. They last longer. And then under that is Artis Opus and Rosemary & Co, because they're the same. And the Tesseract and the Tesseract brushes. So that's my order of operations.
Da Vinci do a really good watercolor sable brush kit for about I think it's about 20 quid.
Yeah.
You get 3 brushes in there, and you also get a little square of brush soap.
Yes.
It's just perfect.
They're
perfect.
Whenever I go to SMG, which is in the Netherlands, SMC is good. It's SFG as well. I can't handle all the acronyms, but Scale Model Show, Scale Model Challenge. When I go to that, Da Vinci have a stand there, and I go out and geek out over the brushes. I get very excited.
I've still not yet tried, but it's because I bought them so my nephew wouldn't fuck up my brushes. I got some Colourforge, they're synthetics, which are made using a material called Torre, which I haven't fully read up on I've read a little bit on the material science, but it's a Japanese designed material because it's meant to, because I think it was originally designed to be a synthetic answer for doing calligraphy brushes. So so it might hold, maybe the belly of the brush holds water better than traditional nylon synthetic brushes or something like that.
I saw Taro, do you know Taro from, he does all the plinths and stuff.
Yeah.
He had a thing up the other day about, he's just the loveliest human being. And he had a thing up the other day about he tried some of the synthetic brushes from, I have completely forgotten the name of the shop now. There's a shop down south. They've just started a new painting competition.
Cryptic Cabin.
Thank you. Thank you. He tried some of the. Yeah, you did a great job. He literally posted about some of their synthetic brushes, and I think that Chris from Exit 23 Games as well has been looking for some good synthetic brushes for vegan alternatives, right, as well. And apparently the Cryptic Cabin ones have been amazing. So I'm really intrigued, because I mean Taro is like a golden demon painting winner, so he's ridiculous with his brushes, and for him to be like, these are amazing, I'm always super intrigued by. So we should all have a look at those, I think.
I
So
have
let us know.
found-
how you
Yeah,
get
I
on.
mean, if people are listening to this, I'm open to have sent to any of the hosts here
Yes,
some
please.
freebies for us to review, please.
Any brushes that you would like me to brutalize, I am here.
Brushes or materials. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be biased because I've got most of the P3 paint range and I've been really enjoying it. So, for context, then everything I did, like my original lot of Kador art, like from the last year or so, those were all painted using predominantly scale 75, whereas the Mastodon, which I painted over the last month, that I used all of the P3
Amazing.
paints on.
Yeah.
And they go through an airbrush really well, actually. I've been quite happy with that.
And
I think the only thing I didn't...
How's the coverage on it?
Pretty damn good, actually. To put it in context, the only GW paint that I generally kept on buying for a long time, because I wasn't happy with the alternatives out there, was Wraithbone, because always want something that's like it's a good highlight color because it'll mix and it's not too white, but it's just nice middle of the road. It's a good dry brush paint because Games Workshop paints always dry out in the pot, so you're always guaranteed it's gonna be good for dry brushing.
Yeah.
But the P3 Jackbone is pretty much
amazing.
classic Wraithbone.
Very Pale Sand's pretty good replacement as well, but I'm still fully on the GW system. I do scale 75 metallics are unmatched.
Peak.
They are absolute peak. But
I love Vallejo.
Yeah. I a fair bit of that, but mostly like GW contrast for the lazy army painter in me. Just
oh yeah, of course.
I wish I could be lazy. I love the Vallejo stuff because it goes matte.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of them that come up shiny, and I don't use those. I switch them out.
I've been using Green Stuff World Max Matte as a bit top coat because it is the most matte thing I've ever experienced. It's beautiful. If you're looking for the mattest matte, Green Stuff World Max Matte is next level because I use a lot of oil paints as well, so I try and it's difficult to get a uniform finish, so I have to do a top coat in the end.
Yeah, I use a lot of the Dark Star metallics.
Yeah, they are nice. I use their washes are really good. Their replacement Null Oil is better than current Null Oil. It's more like old formula.
Midnight
What's
Shroud,
that?
I think
Dark
it is.
Star.
Dark Star.
Dark Star Molten Metals. Funnily enough, the company is owned by the Outpost, as is
Colourforge.
Colourforge, yes. And I have dropped a link into the group chat. I have found a UK distributor for Da Vinci brushes.
And I didn't know that Dark Star was owned by the Outpost. It makes sense why Dan was so keen to recommend that when I said, hey, Null Oil's gone rubbish now. Do you know a replacement? Yes, I do. I know just the thing. Slapped a pot on that. That'd be £3, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. The other one, I've been using Pro Acryl metallics a lot lately as well.
I use their
Yeah,
although
scale 75 was my starting point.
Who dat?
Someone's musical.
It's not me.
It's not me.
It's people trying to phone me. It's an annoying thing where I am getting marketing calls that I've told them to take me off of it.
Oh God.
So they have been reported to telephone preference service.
Fortunately, by responding,
I thought I'd just show you.
Ooh.
That's
nice.
The Warlock. Can't remember her name from the Fane of Nero starter.
I love that bone.
So I went with bone armor.
I'm going to say I've done too many things in bone though, and even my Kador are kind of a bit off-white. So
You have to branch out.
It is nice. I just need to find. I need to find a color scheme that isn't going to make me want to throw myself out the window like the one I was trying to do before. So I was trying to, with the Frozen Forgot to Say, I was trying to match them both, kind of keep a bit of the box art color scheme and tie them into my Dusk color scheme, which is more based on the old Retribution, kind of almost like a camo green.
Ooh.
And no, that combined with the bad base coat, no.
So I mean, there's a few things coming out right now, which so there's Fane of Nero's out on order with the 2 War Beasts. They've got a new box coming out which is called Death's Whisper, which is another. So the way they've changed things is that the new box coming out is also a self-enclosed 30-point army with 2 War Beasts. You don't get all the. I think you don't get all the arm options now for the War Beasts in there. So it's meant to be to stop decision paralysis, like you know exactly what you've got, but you can order the arms separately. They've also done through My Mini Factory, you can get the variant arm and head options for all the War Beasts, so you can make them look weirder and different.
We like weirder and different.
There's also STLs for Fane of Nero terrain.
Nice.
So that is, if you want vampire elf terrain, they've got it. And then the 2 things that I'm really personally excited about coming up is they've got Bandit coming out for Gravediggers, which is a new super heavy warjack for the Gravediggers. They are not getting a colossal because it doesn't fit their theme of airdropping warjacks into battle. But Bandit in terms of the brain of the warjack, the cortex. Dates back to the computer game which came out around about 2010, 2012. Amazing. So they did way back when Private Press did a turn-based strategy game. So a bit like XCOM, I guess is the nearest thing to say it was kind of like. And so Alison Jakes, who's a Colonel Alison Jakes, back then was a journeyman warcaster, and she had her personal warjack that she called Bandit, which was just a lowly little light warjack with a little cannon and a hammer. Well, obviously time has moved on, and she took its cortex out of it because it has all that battle experience and put it in a super heavy. And this super heavy has a quad cannon, which is a flat cannon, a massive fucking hammer, because and then the super great stuff about this warjack, which is mental from the rules, is you can airdrop for it to use light warjack. So this super heavy warjack can control lesser warjacks for you. And it gains abilities from them. So you drop in a blocker that's got a shield and a spear. If it's in base space contact with Bandit's, I think his armor goes up and other shit. So he controls those warjacks. Those warjacks, though, don't count as being controlled by your warcaster, so that means they can't be fed any focus. But it does mean they do still count as part of the battle group for any spells or abilities and feats that your warcaster triggers. So there's a particular warcaster in the Gravediggers who literally gives all of their warjacks in their battle group +3 armor. So you can do that on all of those as well. So you basically have a shield wall happen on all these warjacks that are marching forward. So I'm dead excited about that. And then the other model coming out for Necrofactorum is the Hellslinger, which is a pistol wraith made from a sliver of Alistair Kane's soul. So plot-wise, this all goes back. We're getting more into the narrative now. Alistair Kane had to go out and try and save his daughter in the novels, and part of the deal, he got tricked by Denegra, who is a Crix warcaster. She was, pretending to be some mystic. I think he gave a small sliver of his soul to help in what he was doing. And she went, brilliant, I'll create something from this now, and creates basically a pistol wraith. So in lore terms, a pistol wraith is a ghost who happens to use ghostly pistols. And this one looks like Alistair Kane.
The most War Machine thing possible. A gun ghost.
The most War Machine possible. It's pistol wraiths. I fucking love them. So that's what I'm releases coming up that I'm excited about. We've also, because of Lock and Load, we know Menoth is coming back. I keep looking at eBay, and there's Menoth, the starter Menoth group from
we're not
the original one in metal. I'm like, oh, that's not bad for 30 quid.
I still have one of the metal warjacks like unbuilt and unpainted. I'll stick it in the box I've got to send to you, Sam.
So there's a lot of cool stuff like that. So the roadmap is looking pretty exciting. But But yeah, what hobby then? I mean, Kenda, I know you picked up the when you were at Lock and Load, you actually picked up your order of Old Umbre. So how have you been finding painting them?
I'm literally sitting here tidying up them while
Oh,
we're
you're
talking.
tidying up.
Is that
My
allowed?
ADHD. My ADHD will not let me just have a conversation, otherwise my brain wanders off. So poor Chris has had to deal with me on calls before where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna paint this while we're talking. I'm actually struggling, and the reason I'm struggling is that the models are all so pretty. I wanted to paint one of them for one of the competitions that I'm going to, and I can't choose because everything's so pretty, and I don't even know what they're all
Okay.
called. So I'm literally, I was just tidying up this little guy. He's like little dude, and he's got the.
That's okay. So that's the animist.
Oh, he's fucking sick, is what he is, because he's got tiny little. He's got tiny little skulls hanging off his horns, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I could make this bit look like this, and look how much hair he has, and great for a competition. But one moment, caller. But wait, there is more, because look at this man. Look at this little guy. He's just a little guy. He's going about his business, and do you know what his business is? Looking sick as fuck. That's his business. Look at him. Look at him. He's just
Strix.
an owl dude with some horns, and his horns have got caps on them. Like, what's he fucking up to? I don't know. Whatever he's up to, I'm gonna do it with him because he looks amazing. So
I mean, if I was to pick a model out of all the range that I know you've got there, I would. I mean, you could pick one of the werewolves.
No, too much fur.
Too much fur.
Too much fur. Too much for a competition. Too much fur.
Yeah.
Do the birdie then. Do the. I say the birdie.
Wings.
Do the owl bat-winged
wings.
antlered thing.
I mean,
Strix is cool.
And it's just the metal caps on top of the horns. I'm like, oh, imagine the fucking NMM you can do on that. And then, but then this man's got tiny little crow skulls. And who doesn't love a tiny little crow skull? That's the way to my heart, is to give me bones. So like, gosh.
So Ken has decision paralysis there.
It's the best paralysis to have ever, though.
Gareth, how have you been doing then with your foray into Warmachine then?
I have everything primed. I've then had to go out to Norway for work. Well, you all had a heat wave last week, I was 11 degrees C and rain.
I'm very jealous.
Give.
I'm gonna say.
24-hour daylight. I am very much going to go box art route. I'm so used to sort of like I do my own thing. I do my own interpretation on the color scheme, stuff like that. So I'm feeling that I'm definitely go with the box art. I'm probably going to make a start with Exulon Kythos as my first one, because I want to get those robes looking rather sort of like a matte color. I want to have a play about with either P3 metallics or Proacryl metallics to try and get the metallics right. The blades, I want to do the sort of like crystally blue that you've got the blades. And then fancy. For he's got like these very pink OSL type lenses on him.
Yeah.
And I think that carries over to quite a number of the other units as well. I'm basically looking at using, I've done this before, the neon inks from De La Roni. Mixed into like a pink to give them a bit of body, because obviously as a neon ink, they've not got much body to them. So yeah, that's the direction I'm going to go in, is very much the whole, I'm going to do box art on this. And then obviously I'm going to pop up to Battlefield tomorrow to see if Graham knows anyone up there that already plays Warmachine, get a couple of practice games in maybe, and then we can look at maybe if we're going to do narrative games for this, then I will. And then I'm going to sit down and decide, do I want to carry on with Dark Operations, which is what my original thought was, because I've got all the files, or do I look at, as you said when we initially recorded, I can branch out into Crix Nectar Factorum and pick up some different options there.
Yeah, that sounds wicked. The thing is that I think you can start off quite simple with going with Exelon as the first thing you paint, because you can really establish like how you're going to do the glow effects, how you're going to do your metallics, without having to worry about, you know, weird flesh tones that you're going to do on the next thing. And then, you know, once you, if you pick like say the I can't remember the name of the monstrosity.
The guy with the net gun and the flail. I know who you're talking about.
But that gives you then, you can use that because that's got plenty of flesh on it to work out how you can play with those tones and colors. And then once you've done that, essentially you've got the blueprint for an entire army.
Yeah.
And then you're right, because then you could then go down the route of Necrofactorum and you can either carry on the same paint scheme, or you can do a slight variant, because you could differentiate the fact that these are Cephalax and those are Crix. So for me, I've done that where my Crix have the classic black armor and green balefire in their engines, but then with the Cephalax, I've got the more purples and purpley fleshes and glows, and they kind of contrast against each other. But you can also do other stuff like if I was to paint Crix all over again, I think I might do angry wasps and do yellow armor and black trim, because it looks fucking sick, and I've seen it done really well on Drakari before. I have done it on a Drakari squad for Kill Team, but I think it would look amazing on Crix as well, because then you can go, well, because the glow color they use for that is a purple. So if you want the thing to tie your Cephalax to your Crix to, you could use the glow is the common color, the purples, and then go fucking crazy with the armor and go, well, what goes against purple? Well, yellow, and do a I mean, true, it means painting yellow, and that is always a danger. But you know, we've got spray cans and airbrushes and yellows that are not as thin as piss.
Much better now.
That we can pick from.
Yeah, they are much better now.
Yeah,
so
I've done a couple of things that are yellow, I mean, I could do gold as well. I've done a fair amount of gold doing Custodes, but I've also done knights in
Banana
red
boys.
and yellow before for Horus Heresy, and somebody said to me, "Oh, you need to start with a darker yellow than that," and because I was starting with like Avalon Sunset. And for whatever reason, it just worked first time, and I'm like, I'm not moving away from this.
Yeah. I found the Holy Grail. Ain't touching that now.
Yeah, my yellow works. Contrary to what you thought, I'm sticking with it.
I do love it when people do that, where they're like, you should do this.
And I'm
actually, I'm doing great over here.
Funny thing is, it is quite a well-known commission painter in Heresy, and it was on a course that he was running. And I was just like, I just want to run with this and see if it works. And it worked for the yellow. Everything else, I'd done the way that he had suggested. But the yellow was like, I'm going to work this out. Obviously, airbrushed it all up, and it worked quite nicely. So, yeah, I could probably use that yellow for that. Maybe with a couple of even just look to see again, is there a P3 equivalent to those colors? And build from there.
There was a P3 yellow that I tried at Lock and Load that was really good. Yeah. That one.
There's Ember Orange.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's very Avalon Sunset.
I would like to have a big fight with
or maybe Heartfire.
Anybody who is in any of the paints. Anybody, I don't care if it's P3 people, Vallejo people, Games Workshop people, they don't know how to name paints and it pisses me off. The amount of things that are called yellow or orange. If someone calls something orange and it's yellow, the amount of people that are calling fucking purple things blue, and I'm like, you guys are right. Have you got colorblind people doing your paint naming? What's going on here?
Yeah,
or like
the number of Games Workshop reds.
Silver.
Yeah, the number of Games Workshop reds that are either like pink tones or orange tones. It's like that's not red. It's red in the name. It's one of the few that actually has red in the name, but it's not actually red. It's an orange.
It's the old Vallejo. There's an old Vallejo scale model was just like it's called dark red and it's pink, and I'm like, what is this?
I think the one we need to present Kenda with to see her reaction is original formula P3 cold black.
Oh yeah.
Is it not black?
No, coal black is this one. It verges. It's if
green.
anything, I would
Synced by darkness,
right.
but
Wild
it's synced by darkness. Yeah.
Wild
that's
Rider Red.
orange.
Wild Rider Red is an orange ass orange. Most orange to ever orange.
I cannot handle it. I cannot. I have my little. I will literally be standing at the shelf sometimes, and I look at the paint and I see what it's called, and then I just have a little autism meltdown.
I was going to say,
Like,
at least it's not the legendary XV88, the most descriptive name possible.
I mean, at
It
least
rolls
things
right
like
off the tongue.
bog moss from P3 does look like moss or lichen. I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, bog moss. Yeah, there we go, bog moss. But also, at least P3 puts on the side these days that bog moss is technically a vivid medium yellow green. So they actually have a paint description on the sides.
Yeah,
I really like their paint sheet that shows you, like what colors are from the same family. And the reason I really liked it is because I was being like, Doug, you will understand this from a material scientist background, but from like an art theory background, when I'm mixing paints, it was one of my big bugbears always about starting to paint with miniature paints, and I got really frustrated with it because when I was mixing stuff, I was mixing things, and because they're mixed with so many things to get to that specific shade, you cannot reliably mix a lot of the paints together. Whereas with the PC thing, when you're seeing what the range is, you can then make some educated guesses as to, okay, well, if these are all from the same base, then if I mix this with it, this is what the color's going to end up being, rather than just like a trial and error set of shenanigans that you have to go through.
So, Mark, have you been up to any Warmachine hobby stuff?
Yes.
Amongst your other hobbies?
On the back of our last episode, I made some purchases and dug out the rest of my stuff. Because the first thing I bought, long before we planned this, was the Winter Core Battle Group box. And I painted one of the mech from that. I painted the Great Bear back in like August last year. And I was really pleased with that colour scheme because that's based on the old photo you found of their Winter Core scheme.
It's so good. Kador in white is just hot. It's just the hottest shit ever. Really pleased with that because it was a very simple paint scheme. It's just like a nice zenithal off-white with a lot of oils going on. Well, unfortunately, that was nearly a year ago, and I didn't write anything down, so I've been trying to rediscover what I did.
No, why would you do that to yourself?
I've done it. I've got it back. So I painted the other one from the Battle Group box now. So that's it. And I also painted, even though I'm not planning to use him for this, I painted. Got his name. I've got it written down somewhere.
Boris.
Yes, Boris Yuk.
His name is Boris.
I painted him up to match these, and he's turned out quite nicely.
As well.
But so I do have.
Fantastic.
I have a painted Battle Group box. I'm not going to be using. I'm going to use both the mechs. I'm planning to anyway in the escalation, but not until 50 points. Yeah. I'm going to. We'll talk about this later, depending on how the flow of this goes. But that's because I've got that fully painted. I've got the plastic starter built and based behind me here. So that will be using all of that to start with. That's basically my core. And then I have bought the auxiliary expansion because it's an incredible set. Because I really wanted those.
Yes.
Because where are we at? Yeah, because I really, really wanted the Arcanists because if I'm planning a really battle mech heavy list, they're really vital to have. And by the time you cost those, the rest of the box set just kind of falls away. It's like, oh, it's basically free.
Yeah,
that's my pile of shame. My rule is if I've had something for more than a year, it's basically free. Because then I go when I want to do something, I go shopping in my pile of shame, and I'm like, look at all this free stuff that I have.
I'm the opposite. If I've had something for that long and I've not done anything with it, I want to sell it because I'm like, well, I've not even looked at it. It should be on eBay. It needs to go to a good home.
Piles of shame for me are armies of shame, because they were painted armies, and I was like, I haven't played a single fucking game with you. Off you go to Outpost for Reload, and I will buy something else. I mean, true, this is a Warmachine podcast, well, podcasty thing, but I did use my I bought more Necromunda, but it's the thought that counts. Is I got rid of some 40k armies that I was never playing any games with.
I mean, I sold off 4 fully painted Horus Heresy armies to pay for Florida and my wedding.
Well done. That's good.
That is good going.
That is the hobby paying for a good life.
It
does work out.
It was a really easy sell, because like it was Louise and I were moving in together, and like it's like, well, we need to raise quite a bit of money quickly. It's like, well, stick these in there.
Did you make your money back on those armies, or did you make more?
Yeah.
You made more.
Yeah.
Well done. That's
very
good
nice
to hear.
Because you see, Heresy players, because their armies are quite big, are very lazy. The second something is nicely painted and all nicely based and nicely photographed into a theme, they're like, and because they're all generally middle-aged, they go, well, I haven't got any time. What I do have is
feeling attacked here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have much time, but what I do have is a few £1,000s I'm going to give to that man for his army.
Well done.
The shade that just got thrown.
Well,
I mean, if we're going to talk about it being attacking middle-aged people, I mean, we can. If you're over 40, it counts. So, so David, who I write and podcast with, also has to blame me for purchases, because I've got an episode that's a catch-up on his UK Games Expo experience, but he's in France and he's ordered, because of me, back into Warmachine, because he used to play it when we worked at Games Workshop way back when. So he's got the Orgoth and Nis Elf 2-player set. I think he's also got the Trollkin starter for the Southern Creoles.
Yeah.
And I think he's also picked up something else somewhere along the way. So yeah, I'm to blame for a lot of things.
Yeah, I accidentally got 2 of my friends into Warmachine at UKGE. We've got some mutual friends with Gareth as well. We've got Lee and Callum. Oh no.
Lee's easy to influence into
He's very easy to influence.
That's shiny.
Yeah. He was like, ooh. They did a demo and they were like, okay, we're buying some. And I'm like,
Mr. I have 200 Titans for Adeptus Titanicus.
Nice. And then also, because they announced at Lock and Load that the next edition of the roleplay game is going to be using the 2d6 system from 2nd edition, so it's the same rule set as the war game in effect. I've been buying back into the second RPG. So this is the core book, so you can play characters from the wilderness. So this has the rules to play as. You can play as. Let me get to the character creation section. You can play as a bog trog, a pharaoh, gatorman, humans, nis, pygmy trolls, trollkin, and Tharn.
Imagine choosing, when you got all those options, imagine choosing to play as a human.
Yeah, you got to play as a gatorman.
Yeah, or a bog troll, or whatever that was called.
Bog trog.
Bog trog, even better.
A bog trog is, well, these are zombie ones, but a bog trog are, it's not going to show up on screen very well. They're little fish kind of people.
Fish lads.
They're fish people. So yeah, so I'm back into that as well. So I'm really getting heavy into the lore and everything. I have played also my Journeyman League at my local clubs, going quite well.
Nice.
I've been learning new tricks with Alistair Kane and airdropping stuff into the game. So you can airdrop into game these ammo crates that you can use with your gravediggers, and basically they count as having 5 hit points on them, and as you reduce a hit point off it, you can increase the shot on an attack on a unit by +2 power.
Remind me to never play against you.
I was thinking the same thing. Thanks, Linda.
Yeah. I was going to say, Marc said that about me last time round.
there's going to be some tricksy shit that you're. Trust me, I will make sure you know all the tricky, fun shenanigans you can do with your armies. Like for example, Kenda, you've got the joy of Old Umbre, so you've got the ability on some of that stuff to not only charge interwards, you can see through them, which most armies can't do. So you can do some very, really scary charges straight through terrain at people. Whereas, like Gareth, you've got you've got Exilon, his feet turn basically makes a lot of your stuff harder to hit. And the fact is, you can neuter someone's charge, because if they miss you, you get like this dodge move, so you can move out of combat. So if they miss with their first attack, if they've got more attacks, well, you're not in range anymore. So fuck you is the answer that happens on that. Whereas, like, Marc, which caster are you planning with? Are you starting your army off with?
The Lady from the Plastic Starter set.
So you got Vilkul, who is a queen and is a princess of destruction who can basically do rocket tag and just like charge into combat and butcher people.
Nickname, Princess of Destruction.
Yeah. So there's lots of cool tricks with those, and I've been running demos and stuff. It's like I've been explaining some of these tricks of why the game can end quite rapidly, even if you think you're losing. Because if you're losing on VPs, the fact that you can still technically pull off a win seems like it used to be this thing where Warmachine was complained about because it could end on a gotcha, like, oh, you put your model in the wrong place, ha ha ha, I'm going to kill you. But it seems like now, because of all the pre-measuring, it's not a gotcha. It's more like I've taken a risk and messed up, and you've taken advantage of that risk, and you've pulled a win out of it. And the fact that the game can come to a conclusion that way, whereas again, while I've been running demos like Outpost and so forth, and watching some certain game that involves a 4, a 0, and a K, seem to drag on and on. Like they're micromanaging like tens and tens of victory points to work out where it is to get to to work out who's won, while they're grinding away huge amounts of models. I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. It seems almost very different even to like second edition 40k. I think it had quite distinct missions.
I think that's a slight on second edition, which I'm still playing, by the way. And it is a better game than I've not played 11th yet, but current.
11th I think brings it. I mean, Gareth, you could probably talk more to this because you've been playing for longer than I have. But I feel like 11th brings it back to some of the slightly more enjoyable ones, because the missions are really defined. And now, depending on like, and this was one of the things I remember when you originally explained how Warmachine plays to me.
Yeah.
I felt like, because of what you have now is you have your dispositions and that kind of stuff, and it basically means when my army pairs into another type of army, depending on what we've chosen, the primary mission is different for each of you, and it's catered towards your army. So your army is now doing more narrative things that make sense. So like I play Death Guard, and like, so very often it makes sense for me to have taken hold, and that would make sense for a Death Guard army because they're slow and they're not moving very quickly. So to have my army, and then maybe something like World Eaters or Tau, who move very differently to how my army moves, doing the same primary mission doesn't really make sense. So having that change in 11th brings it into. I really like that change, and I feel like it's a little bit more like some of the older versions were kind of aiming for. So I'm intrigued, and that was big part of the reason why I like the idea of playing Warmachine, was because it felt more narrative. So yeah,
there is. I think the thing is with Warmachine, because the armies do play distinctively quite different. If you're playing the same, like, even though the objectives for each player are mirrored, so where you place your 50mm and your 40mm and a flag are the same for you and your opponent on the board, how you play into that is going to be different depending on which armies you're facing. So if you're playing, like I can tell you now, like the game I played last weekend with my Crix army. So I was playing Nakane, who is very much an assassin type, assassin kind of auxiliary, kind of like Warcaster. And I had some ghosty units. I had Deathjack, who's just a big warjack that's going to take a lot of hammering. But playing into a Dusk army, who has not a lot of shooting, but it's very powerful and targeted, and it meant the way I played that was actually not to bunch up and was to just go hard and quickly into the objectives on their board and swarm them, because I had mechanothrals. So it's like, just because you've got good guns doesn't mean you can shoot lots of my guys quickly.
Yeah.
Like a mechanothral's dead from your really powerful, high-powered gun. Yeah, but that's just one kill.
Yeah.
Like, it's not much. Whereas if I was playing that same game against, say, it'd be a very different story if I was playing against, say, Wintercore against Marc. If you had like a large Wintercore army and you were playing, again, with your heavy warjacks, and you had a lot of the Wintercore soldiers, I would not play hard up into your face that way, because
That's
you're
slow.
Want you. Loads of stuff at the back anyway, and also you can form a really good gun line of troopers who will just rip apart my swarms. So the advantage I have in numbers is meaningless against you in that way. So the way I would play on objectives, rather than rushing up the board to do stuff, is I would make sure I secure mine and then find a point to puncture in. So rather than kind of pincering. So it does, that idea that depending on how you pair up the armies leads to a different way of playing in modern 40k, I think naturally comes out in Warmachine because the armies are distinct. Like, it's going to be really freaking weird with Fane of Nero, because in Fane of Nero, your beat sticks are not your war beasts. Your beat stick is your warlock. You're meant to play them really far up the board to do stuff, which is bonkers. And I haven't quite got my head around that. I've not yet played a game with them, but that really is strange and really changes the flow of the game.
I think that's the essence of, because I played a lot of different game systems recently, and it's kind of split my head apart, and it's been really interesting, like trying to get my head around what makes certain games work and what doesn't. And I think there's like forces that are pulling apart, and I think the thematic drive of the force you're playing, that's what game system it is, if that is interesting and instinctive to, like, if you've got an army that's a billion little dudes, you kind of want to play them in a certain way because you know they're a billion little dudes. You've got an army that's like 4 or 5 big lads that you know these are either going to have big guns or they're going to have big fists to fight, and that's an instinctive way of playing. And if the game doesn't reflect that, then that's a failure of the game system. There's also the mechanical load of knowing the rules of the game system you're playing, and Warmachine is really, the current version is actually quite light on that. It's really easy to get your head around the basics. It's really easy to get like, okay, I've got that guy. I know he can go over there and he could probably fight that guy. Just from at a glance, even if you don't know your opponent's force very well, you can go, well, he's a big monster with big claws. It's probably going to be quite fighty. So I can, and the other side of that is extra mechanical layers, which Warmachine has a bit of with spells and things like that. And again, you can do some gotchas with that, but again, none of it feels unfair. And I feel, again, not to keep falling back to this, but Warhammer in most of its flavors, and particularly current flavor 40k, it's got, because they've tried to make the mechanical drive quite simplified for their pursuit of elegance, which is a failure, but whatever, we won't talk about that. They keep adding on more systems on top of that to try and keep that mental load satisfying. Because you know you can move your guy over there and shoot that guy there. That's fine. But they want, but you can add this command point to make it so he's better at shooting. And now you go to mission, so if he shoots them, you get 12 extra victory points. And it's extra layers to make sure that that basic thematic drive is more satisfying, when it shouldn't have to be forced to be that way through mechanics. It should just be there as part of the game. And I think Necromunda is mechanically quite heavy load. It is quite a complex game. In current form, previous form it is. But because it's fewer models and because you are still driven by that thematic narrative mechanics where you know this guy's a Juve, he's got a pistol, he's going to be crap unless I get lucky with the dice. That's where the satisfaction comes in. And I think that's reflected across most game systems when you get right down to it. The ones that work have a really good balance of mechanical mental load where you are forced to kind of think about it a bit, but you're not killed by the rules, even if you know them well. And also that kind of knowing your army and being able to read the opponent's army if you don't know them well, but also still be able to throw some surprises without feeling like a gotcha. And previous editions of Warmachine have kind of failed at that, to be honest. Like second and third were not always great. If you didn't know what your opponent could do fully, if you didn't know your opponent's army as well as your own, you could often get completely buggered in ways that like doesn't really feel fair.
Yeah. I hate gotchas, and it's something that's put me off of playing a lot of wargaming.
Yes.
Is when I'm playing, I want to have fun. Like I'm playing a game. Like it's supposed to be fun. It's called a game for a reason, and it's almost like people just forget that that's the case. And it was
I think the designers do as well.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just like one of the things I don't like about current 40k is the fact that I feel like if you're into Ultramarines, you just got pockets and heaps of shit that you can do, and if you're into Chaos, you just feel like you're getting punished a lot of the time. Unless you're playing, I don't know what it is with Necrons at the moment, but they're ridiculously overpowered, and so it just makes a lot of games not fun.
The other thing is, hasn't like 40k, especially also when they were previewing things, I think, and this again sings to what Steamforge has attempted, and I think Gareth, you mostly know this better than most of us here. Like 40k, I feel like they've also got to the point where, again, with the dice system, I've said this again, and I keep hammering it home, you're pissing at the edges with the odds. Like you can pretty much just go, I may as well just remove 2 of your models because that's what it is. And also without even having to roll the dice, because over that so many dice it smushes out. And then also the armies pretty much have an answer for everything that you can build into it. Like, oh well, this one needs to have this to fight this, and I need this in here to fight this, I need this to here to fight this. So it all feels like everything has an answer to every problem in every army. There isn't an army where you go like, well, it just can't do this type of fighting, but that should be treated as, well, that's okay. But 40k is almost like, oh no, we should provide you a way to fight like that because we want you to buy the army no matter what.
I say, Chris, you're almost advocating for fighting game style balancing where certain matchups just will never work, but that's fine because you can have a good matchup. Like say, I mean, I was an Elder player for a while and they've been generally quite good, but Dark Elder were the absolute epitome of glass cannon for a few editions.
Yeah.
And if you went up against the wrong flavor of like brick wall, you were absolutely nothing you could do.
Yeah, 100%.
Off explode.
So Gareth, would you say that's your experience and kind of similar also in?
There's a couple of sides to this, I feel. The first one, you saying about you can almost call the odds on stuff. Very, very true. The one that typified this for me in 9th edition was actually playing in the Warhammer Fest tournament. My 4th game, I ended up against a guy who played Guard. Now, mortars in Guard were savage in 9th edition, but he wasn't using them. Now I was playing Knights, and I said to him, look, why aren't you using your mortars? He's like, oh, they've not been particularly good. And I said, right, do me a favor. Shoot that knight with all your mortars. And he's like, well, but it's not going to do anything. I was like, you're going to have to trust me on this. Shoot the knight with all your mortars. Because I knew his volume of dice would kill the last like 3 wounds on that war. It was basically it was an armiger. It was a small knight. I knew he could kill it with that volume of fire. That one action, he then started going, oh, well, I'm just going to throw buckets of dice at things and I'll succeed. And it's exactly what you're saying, is that if you throw enough dice, you're going to get the successes that you need out of it.
Unless you roll like me, then you're screwed. Then you're screwed. It doesn't matter how many dice you roll. I just rolled 1s and 2s unless I need a 1, and then I'll roll a 6 for no apparent reason. So
we need to get you some more dice then, Kenda.
Put them in dice trail. That's what I do.
I think also this picks up on a little bit on what Marc was saying. Over, I feel 8th, 9th, and 10th, GW have targeted the competitive play, the tournament play market too much in my mind. It's why I play a lot of Heresy. I prefer a narrative game. I wanted to play Crusade. As soon as we had Crusade announced in 9th, I wanted to play Crusade games. I wanted to build narrative forces.
Oh, that's why I like AOS, because things like Darkwater, like all the quest stuff, right?
You didn't get many people wanting to play it, and now they've dropped it completely from 11th edition. I don't want to be playing the template terrain that is designed around competitive to make people feel that you've got balanced terrain across the table. That said, what Kenda said about the new way of matching up missions, it works really well. Yeah, Kenda wants to play Death Guard. Kenda picks the Death Guard stuff that gives her take and hold, let's say, because that's the theme of her army. That's sort of like the way that Kenda wants to play her army. I pick up Dark Angels. I want to go full Ravenwing. I end up with Reconnaissance. And in some respects, the way that the missions match up, I could almost, if I haven't got the stuff to crack Kenda's units, I could ignore that and I could just do my primary mission, which would be focused around a reconnaissance style force.
Yeah.
And try to outscore Kenda on primary
by thinking strategically and narratively, right?
Yeah. But in a more competitive environment.
That's almost depressing though, because 3rd edition Heresy, like there's a direct point of comparison. You could, if you're playing a White Scars army, which is one of the armies I sold, you can no longer capture points with your fast-moving jet bikes and outrider bikes because they're not scoring units anymore.
Right, Chogorian Brotherhood doesn't exist anymore, so you can't do that, unfortunately.
You have to play the same game. You have to have big units of Space Marines standing on objectives, catching. And again, you can see where they're coming from. They're trying to encourage a thematic build and a thematic approach, but because they are rigid with it, they're not allowing people to customize it.
I do actually think that they've done a really good job with 11th. I think 10th was messy. 10th was very messy. And I think they did a really good job so far with 11th. And I think it's going to encourage more people to play other game systems, because I think it's going to encourage some of the competitive players to think narratively and to think strategically rather than just thinking about optimizing points. Because I know from my competitive group who all play tournaments and that's their life, that they are literally just trading units. They're just thinking numbers, and they're just thinking exactly what you guys were saying. Like, I'm just trading numbers. I know that if I trade this and this and this and this, then it's fine. But now they're having to think very differently about stuff because we don't have the same objectives anymore, and you've got to be really careful about how you're playing. And now you're starting to think narratively, and I think it's going to make people think differently. And I'm excited to see how it affects other gaming systems, because I think we might steal some people from some, from that system into us.
Well, this is.
I probably shouldn't.
I mean, this is.
Sorry.
No, go on, Gareth.
I was to say I probably shouldn't admit this to Kenda, but I have one model to build, and then I am ready to paint it up, and I have 2,000 points of Dark Angels. Within 2 weeks of the new edition. All right, some of it is stuff I already had built. Some of it is.
What a little meta chaser! What a little meta chaser! Look at him.
I've just gone, what do I find fun? And it's the things that I find fun.
Meta. So winning is what you find fun, right?
If you say so.
I see you.
Have any of you looked at how the missions, the scenarios are set up yet for how Warmachine works? Because I think this might be a good point in which to kind of end and kind of like get your brains kind of also churning on that. We can also catch up on lore next time, because I know there's a lot out to read. And you might be finally diving into the characters. I'm just trying to load up the app now.
I was going to say, if you get the said that 3 times, if you get the subscription to the app, the amount of lore that's dumped on you with like novels and stuff is kind of overwhelming.
And the free model that's going to be the code is available. If you subscribe now, you'll get a code. The model's not yet available to order from that code, but the Constance Blaze and what the heck is her name of the Warjack that she's got? Constance Blaze and the
I've not seen that.
She's got a super heavy Warjack.
Is that this year's one? Because the last one I saw was the Necrofactorum one.
No. Constance Blaze is a member of the Order of Illumination, so she's like a holy warrior. God, this app is taking ages. Like,
if you guys want to laugh at me momentarily, I'm doing one of these little guys.
Which one is it?
Just tidying one of the little guys up.
Oh, it's one of the liegemen.
Do you see how he's got stuff hanging off of his shield? And I was looking and I was like, why has he got chili peppers hanging off of his shield? It's not. It's teeth. It's teeth on a thing. It's wolf's teeth. But I was like, why has he got chilies hanging off of his shield?
I think you should pay at least one like a chili pepper now. I think that's
it's
lucky chili pepper.
Get this app
the gallon is desktop. The Warjack that comes with Constance Blaze.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I've managed to miss this somehow.
Let me bring up on screen on the web page. Let me find Constance Blaze.
I can never get my flipping app to load for some reason.
It starts from April each year, so if it was Crix for year 1, I've unfortunately missed year 1.
Constance Blaze.
I've dropped the link into the group chat in Instagram.
Amazing, thank you.
So that was the old version of the miniature when she was a metal miniature. The new version, when I can find Constance Blaze, Steam Forged, all, come on, where is it? And the Gallant, there we go.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, that's very pretty.
So he's clearly a Warjack following the Storm Legion Jack chassis design, but obviously has been modified to fit her fighting style and the fact that she is part of the Church of Menoth, which is what that symbol here signifies. And and she's obviously hates the Infernals and evil and fights for Menoth and Holy War. So that's her. What I was going to show on the app. So in the app, we've looked at the rules before. We've looked at building things. So if we look at, say, Tales from the Frontline, which is what you would start playing with for Journeyman Leagues. So we can look at some of the missions here. So for example, we look at lines drawn. So here is how a mission is set up. So what happens is when you set up the terrain, you then roll to see who's attacker and defender. You notice that you've got asymmetric deployment zone size. And then in this mission, you've got 2 50mm tokens that you place down. Those can only be claimed by if you're within 3 inches of it with one of your Warjacks or your Warcaster or Warlock, your leader. Any model can contest. So you can have another model that can't claim it, but can contest it to fight for it. And then you've got flags, and flags are placed, but then you can move them anywhere within 5 inches to place it on a piece of terrain. So that could be a piece of terrain that you have to be near or within. So if you put it on a building, the building can then be garrisoned by troops or something like that. So again, and also if you push it forward, if you were to move it forward, it'll make your gameplay for taking the 50mm in the opponent's board half a bit easier. But if you were to pull it backwards, it will make it much easier to defend. So there's you get some choice in how these are placed that will be impacted by the army that you pick and the army that you're facing, and whether you're going to get up in the face of, say, Kenda's army of fucking werewolves, or you're going to play against a gun line of gravediggers. If we look though at, say, Seize the Initiative, you've got a very different layout. So again, you've got these flags that can be placed nearby their initial location onto terrain. You've got a single 50mm in the center, which is just begging for warjacks to wade in at each other, or war beasts, and to knock the shit out of each other.
That's the Rock'em Sock'em Robot zone.
But then you've got these caches, and so you've got a cache. You notice they've got 2 different colors. So the cache in your color here, you can't claim. You can contest it to prevent your opponent claiming it, but if your opponent can claim it, they get I can't remember how much a cache is worth. Scenario rules. A cache is worth 2 victory points and is then removed from play. So you kind of want to, you want to have something that can run up the board and push onto those objectives and claim that cache. And then, so if we look at another type of scenario, this one, again, you've got caches, but then you've also got these 40mm here. And a 40mm objective can only be claimed by a unit of troops or your leader. Oh. And the unit of troops has to be wholly within 3 inches of it. So, but if a unit of troops is reduced to a single model, it can't claim any objectives anymore. So, as you can see, the design of the scenarios is such that it forces you to have diversity in your army, because if you don't have any units of troops in your game, you're going to be having your warlock, or warcaster, your leader, is going to have to be doing a lot more work, because they're the only one that can go off and claim the 40mm objectives. Also, you'll note in each of these scenarios, Steamforged Games also put design notes on how this scenario should be played, because they're teaching you about how to play into objectives. And remember, at the same time as you're trying to play for this, you've got to keep your leader alive, or else you just lose outright. So there's a lot of fun in like that. That's just, you've got 2 40mm, you've got a whole load of caches that you're going to try and run and claim off your opponent.
It's just it's like AOS vibes, isn't it? It's lovely. It's exciting to see it.
So there's a lot of diversity there. Obviously, if you play Steamroller, the tournament level games, there's more scenarios there, and then on top of this, we've got the narrative scenarios. So if we look at High Ground, your armies don't even start on the board. They move on. You've got a road that goes down the board that is about 6 inches wide, and then you've got an area that is meant to be a hill, or at least something that is high ground, that the defender can start some of their forces in. So that's one asymmetric mission. But then there's another one, such as this one, where the defender's in the middle of the board and the attacker's all around them. So you've got, or street by street, and this terrain area is meant to be filled with buildings.
Jeez.
So it's really forcing some very narrative, terrain-driven scenarios, which is, I feel, is very different to the approach that GW takes.
100%.
The other thing to also note is that the new actually, I'll bring up the rules for that as well. Let's go to cards, and this is where I feel like Steamforged is moving into a new design area in the game that we haven't seen before. So if we look at Fane of Nero, so the new warlock that's going to be in the new box that's on pre-order, Ashmael, his feat is fucking weird because it's doing something new. It has what's called desecration tokens, and it says place a desecration token on a non-cash scenario element within his control range. And when a friendly model attacks an enemy unit within the contesting range of that scenario element, they gain an additional die on attack and damage roll. So basically what you're doing is you're going forward and you're using the scenario objectives to influence your playstyle. So again, certain scenarios, based upon how they're distributed, you're going to want to position your Ashmael in a certain place to get the broadest coverage for his feat. Yeah. And then you're also kind of creating kill zones, because you're being like, come on, I'm on this objective, come get it. Oh no, if you come get it, I'm gonna really fucking smack you one because I've got the tokens to use. So I think we might begin to see more of that in Warmachine's kind of like design spaces, is also looking at how the scenarios are manipulated in game. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff there. What stuff are you excited to buy? I know obviously, Kenda, you're taking you're cleaning up your models right now.
Yes.
But you don't have to waste time building them. So
no,
buy
literally just cleaning them up. I'm actually ready to. I've got 3 more to clean up. While we've been talking, I have cleaned up 20 models.
Nice.
Nearly 2 full boxes of models while we've been talking, and I'm gonna go and prime them in a second. So yeah.
Okay, so that's your job ahead. You've got those. So I'm not going to ask you what you're interested in buying next.
Oh no, I'm buying a Gorgon, the big thing.
Oh, wow! I want one of those too. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
I'm getting one of them because painting competitions, in it. It'll be lovely for a painting.
Oh, it will be sweet for that.
Yeah.
Gareth, what's on your list of either to paint or, well, I say not paint, to buy, or mostly in your case to print?
So yeah, I'm kind of torn at the moment because obviously I missed out on the Frontier campaign, partly for work, partly because of a few other things, and I'm kind of torn between the Convergence of Crisis and the Grimkin as the next ones to pick up, as because obviously they've now got them as on My Mini Factory as STLs. That you
Grimkin are pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and it's like it's body horror, and because I play Heresy like Marc does, I paint lots of Blood Angels and lots of Blood Angels. I probably need to paint something that's not lots of armor. So yeah, Grimkin is kind of body horror stroke skin tones stroke puppets kind of thing from the looks of things. So yeah, they
are nasty. They are nasty fae. That is for certain.
Yeah, a few of them look like they've got like patchwork skin and stuff like that. I like the one that's like almost the little girl in front of the the beast with a doll's face on it.
The lore behind the Grimkin, the lore behind them is like fascinating because I think I put out. Did I put out? Yeah, I did release. Yeah, so go listen to that. Actually, I did a heroes and villain episode on Zavenna Aga, the old witch, and she is both a playable warlock for the Grimkin. She is a playable warcaster for the old Cader army, and of course, she is the head honcho behind Old Umbre. So she's a really fascinating character.
Nice.
Marc, what's on your kind of list of things?
Well, I've bought most of my stuff for my Cader for now, but I want the big lad. I want a big lad. I want the big boy.
What big boy?
Like the Mastodon looks incredible, but
Mastodon's cool.
But but likewise, I'm really tempted by the Grimkin. As you know, I missed out on those last edition.
But also, Marc, there is also
medium large boy.
Medium large boy on tracks.
Yes.
Beep beep.
He looks so small compared to the Mastodon, though, on the photos now.
Oh yeah.
But
he's it's a cool model.
Like Grimkin have been fascinating me for a long time. Like I have a copy of the old rule book, and the lore is incredible. But I just need to find. I don't have a printer myself, so I need to find someone that's got a solid printer for it with won't cost me the earth. Otherwise, I'm waiting for Menoth.
Yeah.
Menoth.
Ping me a message, Marc, about that, because my friend does 3D printing. He's not expensive. It's good stuff.
And then I've got on the way, because I found for a decent eBay price, I've got Xerxes, Fury of Halak. So this is for Scorn. So he's a warlock riding a rhino. And
amazing.
And the fun thing about him in game rules is when I find the card. And I know Marc will immediately appreciate this because it's just nuts. Let's see, Army of the Western Reaches. If we look at Xerxes, Fury of Halak, all of his war beasts in his army get a speed boost of +2. And I've got 2 Titan Gladiators and a Titan Bronzeback Titan. So they're very heavy war beasts that are only speed 4, so they're proper slow compared to everyone else's. To be able to just uniformly go, you're all speed 6 now, run forward and headbutt people. Super fun.
The fastest 2-legged elephant you've ever seen.
Yeah.
In armor.
Fastest 2-legged elephants. There we go. Bronzeback Titan, this dude. Let's actually see if I can find a picture of a Bronzeback Titan, because I've still got it to paint. Scorn, bronze. I can't spell. Bronzeback Titan. So I've got one of these to paint. So like I say, as Marc said, it's a 2-legged elephant, but it's got 4 arms, 2 of which have got big meaty fists, and then it's got huge tusks, and it literally just wants to run at people and headbutt them.
This is what I mean when I say that Warmachine, the models have got the thematic rules built in. You just stay away from that thing. It's right there. just shoot it from far away or avoid it entirely.
So yeah, we can see its rules here quite quickly for people that aren't aware. I can tell you basically. So this means speed 4, it's slow. Well, that's now speed 6. That symbol there means when it does headbutt attacks, it increases the power on them than it would normally get. And then what else? It's hyper aggressive. So if you hurt it, it moves towards you for free. And then it also makes. And then if you've got other non-Bronzeback Titans near it, you can remove Fury on them. So basically, the play style of this army that I'm wanting to build and run is a bunch of these angry 2-legged elephants that run forward, headbutt you as hard as they fucking can, get really angry in the process, but then you cool them down quite quickly, because this guy here, even though he's just as angry, he goes, all right, lads, calm down.
Calm down
Keep
now.
it cool. We're going to beat everyone up in a minute. And that's basically the play style. And then he's got, what's his thing also? He's got Indomitable. Last round, gains further +2 armor against melee damage rolls. So he runs forward and he's like, come on, beat me up. And he's like, I'll have you. And that's the gameplay of this army. Whereas it'd be very different if I was running, my other warlock, Makeda. I wouldn't run that army. I would run her with all of my troopers. So I've got like these 2, they're like dark elves, but they've got 2 swords. And well, effectively they are dark elves. From what's being revealed, we know that Scorn came first. Elves, Scorn came first. Fuck you. Right, I think that is enough for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you 3 have also enjoyed talking about Warmachine and getting hyped for it, because I feel the hype is real. The hype is real.
The hype is real. I've also enjoyed looking at everyone's cats. Gareth's cat's left now, but
my
I saw
cat is
Marc's
elsewhere.
Cat for a second.
Yeah, it's
my
past
cat
supper
came in for
time.
a bit.
Spooky's coming.
It's a tale of 4 war cats.
That's
what it is.
My 2 left for dinner. Sorry.
But yeah, we will also get stuff sorted out. Event-wise, yes. So PeachCon is locked in. So I'll be running demos there. I'm trying to see if I can get some support from Steamforge Games on the painting side, but I will bring a good selection of my P3 paints along. So I'm sure by that point, Kenda, you'll still have stuff to paint, right?
I will always have stuff to paint.
Oh, we'll have a lovely little desk for you and some P3 paints you can happily paint.
I'll come
my plan.
paint for you.
And we'll do demos there. I've also got, as I say, Element Games, 22nd of August. PeachCon is 9th of August. Tickets are on sale already. I think they're about £8, but it's free if you're a member of the Patreon. So please go over to Chris Peach's Patreon, because it's his stuff is worth it. All the videos he does is great. Any other good events? Kenny, you're going down to Cryptic Caverns Convergence?
I'm not in the country for that. I'm not in the country for that, but the next big comp I'm doing is Fen, and Fen is an amazing competition down in Ely in Cambridge.
It's 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah, well, I'll hopefully see you there then.
I've been Josh is trying to persuade me to come across.
You need to do it. It's honestly so good, because unlike all of the other painting competitions, story is the main arc for it. They even have a specific story category. So for the type of painting I do, that makes me really happy, because all my paintings always narrative driven. So there's that, and then after that is SMC, which is in the Netherlands, and then I don't know if before that or after that is Spiel in Essen. So yeah, there's 3 painting comps coming up now in quick succession, and I'm currently building an Iron Throne for one of them. So I need to. I got shit to do.
Marc, is anything you've got plans for, or you're booked up?
I'm booked up. I've got nice, like, gaming wise, quite quiet. I've had my mad rush, and now it's just painting what I want. I'm out of the country for a PeachyCon, unfortunately.
I do want to try, if you're out. Oh, good. Okay, right. Well, if you're not here for PeachyCon, what I do want to try and do, because I do know they finished like doing stuff there, is, and you're local to ask. So if you could, I think we need to investigate the TSN arena and for bat rep type stuff there, because I think they've got a setup which means you literally don't need to bring any hardware.
No. I think
and that would be quite cool.
I think Rob's hiring it out like most midweek days. So
yeah, exactly. So it'd be interesting to find out, figure out what the costs are on that or something, and or some other similar location, because I do have cameras. Because that's my problem. It's just having space, but maybe I might have a solution for that at some point soon.
Surprisingly few in Nottingham, considering it's the home of the Lead Belt. Like, unless you are at Warhammer World, there's only really 2-3 venues here, and not great.
But yeah, that's plans. So yeah, I think obviously it's gonna be cool to see some more painted stuff. Whether it's painted plastic Khador in that lovely white color scheme with grim, dirty weathering, or how, Gareth, you're going to approach your Cephalax, or I'm interested in how Kenda's going to approach the Old Umbre, if she's going to go off. You going for box art or going away from the box? Yeah, of course not.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Mine's
I know.
Mine's going to be way more spooky. The box art's kind of like all nice. No.
Brilliant. Well, and I'll just say one else. So shout, obviously, thank you to Steamforge Games sending the Fane of Nero starter, and again, thank you for Bayset sending out
tiny skulls,
tiny skulls and tiny rocks and stuff. And I'll get some stuff up using that soon. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, leave them in the chat or email us at darkdays@gmail.com, www.dark-days.org. We've got more stuff coming out. We have interviewed Grant Howitt of Roman and Descartes. We were talking about Spire. So there's an episode going up of that. There is some other works in process which I cannot talk about quite yet, but it involves an RPG, and it involves filing serial numbers off a certain IP and making it our very own. It's clearly a homage in some respects, and is going to be dead fun. So there's a lot of good work that's being done by the team on that. I'm basically just doing the editing and stuff. So, and then I've got 2 other projects I can't talk about. It's just fuck. I'll die at this rate. So that's cool. So yeah, thank you everyone, and goodbye for now. So
Happy
bye.
shopping.
Have fun with Warmachine, everyone. Goodbye.